he's still looking to move in. X is out, they found Natsumi, it's a big target. Natsumi is going to lose the Aegis. Meanwhile, they're trying for the line and they will finish off skill lane. Zorain? Whoops.
The heck?
What was that? Maybe he was trying to force them to just give it a go? Meanwhile, a young PH now getting called to terrorize.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Layo-layo na narinig ko.
Yeah. They were fine with trading away Lion for Aegis, trading 2 more away for that.
Yun, napaka naman nila.
Yeah, they're not going to give force them out. They're quite happy with finding those kills themselves and still getting some value out of because they lost Aegis on Natsumi. Especially
nakita ko nga yung activation kinung ano ko eh.
I'm a little bit surprised Kish popped the BKB, couldn't hold this position.
Yeah, yung ano.
Find that angle to just keep fighting.
Racer.
It felt like a big opportunity to try to get the kills back to back, but it was very staggered out from both sides.
Nilagay ko lang to sa surround, gano'n.
And this leads to a good circumstance for the side of Kuku still.
Para ano yun siguro, para magpalit ka ng ano, no? Para bumili ka ng bago, no?
Satanic coming out for Natsumi into the butterfly. Wanting that durability up front, wanting some sustain.
Nice.
For the side of Yangon, it is the Daedalus coming in for Kish. It's at that point you really should start to do something. Maybe you want at least a Morbid Mask on top, just to try to play with sustain. But you should be able to start to, again, find these bigger kills you'd want. At this point, I'd say finding Nico actually doesn't feel good. Like this, Mars is bottom network, or you want to find something higher value. You want the actual life of Natsumi, or a clean kill onto Yoe, before you can get the boat off. And things start to look a little bit better. But again, Kuku is playing it smart. Not handing any of those opportunities out. Forward vision of Yangon as well. Not spotting anything useful. We'll just go for a siege onto the tier 2, force out the early fortify. Side of are set up to shove in bot themselves. But with the fort mid early at the very least, should be a nice take onto a tier 2. Still a long smoke angle out.
Meron ako mga may mga skin ako sa battle pass eh.
Tail's already gone. BKB popped as well by Kish. No messing around. Just wants to be able to get out of there, and he does.
May mga ano pa ako skin sa ibang barrel.
Kuku is they
battle pass.
Are unable to find any kind of straggler here for themselves.
Mga
nothing really to come out of this
yun
chase.
lang. Barilan.
They are still running.
Mga libre.
Towards young PH or Kish. Let's just go ahead and take over the jungle for now. Tier 2 mid tower appears to be where Kukuis are headed. And Natsumi will indeed get started.
Meron ka din yan, Tom?
Old school lane. Getting caught down at bottom lane. Caught him. There you go. They'll at least find some.
Dati
not the biggest kill. I think you're happy enough in Yangon to hand over the line like that instead of something like Puck who's pushing out the wave down bot. Reveal the position out inside of Kukuis, you know that they're fully committed to siege on the tier 2. And you get to play elsewhere on the map. Like you're playing really aggressive up top. JG's clearing out that top himself. Again, bot is constantly shoved out here by young PH. Young PH is well bought out of his own shard. So he's got that bonus magic damage coming out on his attacks. He's got the full Pharasma. There's a lot of bright play coming in as Nico yields himself by accident.
It's okay.
Kahit pa rin nung kamay ko.
Seeing somebody take the outpost. Kish wants to kind of intervene here. It does move into the triangle, but shooters have already left. Just take the outpost back.
Wala ka na namang gamit.
K-Net worth advantage now for Kukuis. Still does feel like anyone's game, but Natsumi is well and truly just keeping ahead of this gyrocopter throughout the whole game. You're not really seeing that crazy level of farm you tend to see on a gyro. Not yet, anyway. Oh, even our Cook is keeping ahead.
Done a great job of managing that with Kish. I think the key thing for Yangon is that, again, all the farm in the world doesn't matter if Zorain manages to get a good false promise off. That's where all this is riding on. That's what you were talking about, Mike. All the way now for Zorain. So he's gonna have a way of repositioning himself into these
No,
fights
wow.
to get that false promise off.
Tatal pa
when
talaga.
he's gone. And
Kaya
they just need to kind of
minimize ko yung
play smart. Lead is
OBs.
still up there, 11k up
Love
for
it.
the side of Kukuis has maintained itself here, not being able to close that gap whatsoever on the side of Yangon. But, and even if it looks dire for Yangon, again, there's the level spikes you're looking for here are massive. So like Young PH 18 with the Dream Coil, it's going to be quite nice. If he manages to hit level 25, this game drags on. Piercing debuff, even he's going to use the Dream Coil, potentially with the Axe as well, make a huge difference. They start to siege on the high ground, and Kukuis are just busy with the tier 2 bot.
But the Tier 3 tower is still going. They're going to try and jump Kish here. The Ice Blast will land, but the BKB TP away. No, they got the X off. It won't matter though. The BKB narrowly lasting long enough as they do find Zorain.
Ha?
Scary
Oh.
times. But they found the Tier 3 tower. So YG was happy to give up the Oracle.
Tindahan pala to.
Naturally,
Konti na lang,
YG
may pambili na tayo.
will get back to the farm game because they still have plenty of farm to go here for.
Baka dito na tayo manguha.
And they do. And for Young PH as well, like this Lincoln's has to be up. Or Clark to feel really from this game. He's not going to get X. Mark back to position. He's not going to get fuel set up as well by Nico. So one defensive item here, having to wait here for Young PH. Not too far off, at the very least. It still needs a lot more time though. Side of Kukuis. They're still in the game. Again, they're still in that lead. They've still got all of this gold farmed up on Natsumi, who does have the full Satanic flying in now. So the sustain on our Razor is looking pretty sharp. Going into that Butterfly next. The Butterfly may be a little bit more surprising, more than likely to just force an MKB buyout from Kish, doubling down on the Jerky. We'll get the on top as well from Yoe. But it does mean you're going to miss out on like this refresh Razor build, which is really a big threat. Double Eye of the Storm, double Static Blink, double begins to be a massive turning point. But just the fact that this Gyrocopter will have to, if that full commitment to the Butterfly is up, the commitment for the Gyro to go back into MKB will cause more time stalled out for YG to feel complete in these games, which again plays nicely into what Kukuis will want to do anyhow.
Maybe forced out from Natsumi. Oh my. Natsumi maybe just feeling like the jump was coming. Preemptively pops the BKB, but as soon as YG see the BKB pop, they want to go. Naturally, it's going to be a counter smoke though, because now you've got to sight the Vice up on Yoe. So two interesting scenarios for both teams to try and force a fight in. See who sees who first. They're going to spot out the Pango. The Hex Reveal is there immediately as they try to burst him down. The False Promise does make it just in the nick of time. Meanwhile, the skill lane does go down, but Natsumi! Natsumi's gone again! Still a try on the Gyro, and they do take down Kish in the end. Young PH, though, still just getting to work. Should have the Kunka. Young PH, though, held down. X is out. Yoe does make it away. And ultimately, Kukuis, they still actually manage to come out on top of this.
They do, but it's a costly one. And they take that re-engagement, that BKB on Natsumi. The Hex Reveal is nice, but it didn't really catch Young PH. And that's the target you really have to commit on here for Yoe. It can't be the Pango. He's forced to jump the Pango first, he's the one to show the smoke first. But if it's not the puck, then you're looking at trouble.
Talo palagi.
PH can do a lot of work. This is him without anything like the axe up just yet. So there's some added damage onto that Dream Coil yet. But once that build-up's there, it basically is a mid-to-late game scenario, which we are approaching at this point. The fact that the False Promise did have to go out onto JG did cost Kish though. That is the one you only really maintain one build up here for Zorain. And he had to save the Pango first as again, he killed himself in burst of smoke quite fast. So the sustain wasn't fully running for our Gyro, which when your ice blasted up means a world of difference. Smoke playing poking tag on mid, being shoved out here on Kukuis end. But YG, again, they've stemmed the tide. The lead hasn't grown past 10k in a while. They are managing to find punishment on Natsumi. And they're finding the angles to work these fights. They're getting a lot cleaner angles out here as well in comparison to game one. Knowing when to smoke, knowing how to position, how to initiate, and utilize that smoke has been quite important here between the games. For Kukuis, Again, it's not doom and gloom here for the squad. They've got a lot of control. They have to fend off with that full Lincoln's Onion to finish up now, but they do have control for Roshan. Let's get started onto it very early on. The Obs Board should have spotted the plasma field coming through, so they should know Roshan is now about Zarrain ready to try for a blink steal if he's ballsy enough. And they are shoving in top while that commitment is made. Range rack's already gone, nearly poked out by young PH, no worries here.
Eventually, just leave the area, obviously does not want to risk it. Smoke is being picked up. They want to try and make another move. They can't afford to just keep standing here and letting their objectives slowly be chipped away at. YG doing a very good job of, by the way. I mean, it doesn't look pretty and it's very slow, but it gets the job done. Here's the smoke out though. Zorain, the only one really showing in the mid lane, but they're going to try and chase him down. Nice blink towards the south, but eventually he will run into the cook gun and will lose his life. So they do find a quick pick off, and it doesn't really seem like they're going to lose anything off the back of this. Young PH is trying though, just chip away at the barrels. He does get a fair bit of damage, but it's going to reset. It'll be fine.
Ang bilis nung ano.
It's going to heal back up, but this does prevent them from the rush. Still late, caught out as well, led up a freebie.
Very awkward scenario there for Skolay. How did he even get there?
Just shoving out mid somehow. Cut being tried to connect up top and ends up in the wrong spot on the map. Still, again, this movement from YG is pretty smart because Roche was never taken. They're still getting that steady shove top. Young PH is now just being a menace, catching everyone, forcing so many rotations onto himself. Buying a lot of time across the map. It's just so much time to farm now.
Although might have it though. Terrorized in the land. Nice pass to connect, and this time they will finally punish the pesky puck. Bit of relief now. They don't have to worry for another 70 seconds about this damn top lane.
Yeah, but I mean, they could try to go for the rush now as well. And this is away from the area that YG once had. They have no vision in this pit. So now they can get that nice free objective for themselves.
Kami kasi naglalaban eh.
War will reveal. Inside of YG could opt to fight, but instead they're looking for stragglers.
Yeah, bubulusok na ako.
With that ice board next, they should know he's hanging around by that tier 2 if they want to dive.
Tell though, plenty of TP rotation potential. Nico's gonna jump in. Arena speed is down. Zorain has a blink up, doesn't need it though because he's with the high ground. Yeah, they're out of it. That's just the game plan every time. But hold on a minute.
Mali na naman ako nakakuha.
For more, does find one. Meanwhile, Natsumi, he does actually secure Roshan while all this is happening. So Kukui, they give up a Dark Willow, but it's well and truly worth it as they do secure an Aegis now for Natsumi.
Big one. Key thing now is for Yangon to try to blow up the Razor again quite fast. If they get that blink initiation out, if they get that angle out here with young PH, taking care of the 2 lives is actually quite fine. We've seen it happen before. Natsumi has to play a little bit cautiously, or his response time has to be really quick with that PKB, as he can't afford to lose that first time.
Likod.
He needs to be able to stand his ground as the Razor. He needs to be able to get the damage off for the team, as he is their main source of damage at the moment. The side of YG haven't backed off from that triangle, getting a good snipe onto Yoa's career for free, keeping that lane shoved out, have pressure on the map. The lead drops down to 7.
May sniper sa kabila, tol.
For the side of Kukuis and Yangon. And they're reeling their way back in this game. It looks awkward in a couple of spots. They get caught out every now and again. But that scaling is certainly coming online. A little bit surprising to see this build up on Fish. Is opting for a refresh and a swift blink. So wants double BKB Satanic to be up. And wants to jump in and out of these fights. But it can work. It's just a matter of
Ping ko na lang.
if he gets blasted
yung
up,
baril mo nga dun.
none of this matters too much. The healing reduction applied. So he needs that save out from his workload. And again, they need to find Natsumi. At least catch him out with first life whenever he's farming way too far forward with his team somehow. And that's the way you kind of just deny this Aegis advantage. They're not doing much with it on Kukuis anyhow. They're forced to repair lanes, they're forced to just play the farm game. They're forced to wait for YG to again make the first move here.
Here we go. They're going to try and make their move up towards the top lane once again. Lee Barrack's still very healthy, but they can burst down pretty quick. They're trying to burst out Gabby. Gabby's gone already. He's got buyback though. They take down Zorain. Skill A also set to fall and does. Very nice arena from Nico. BKB TP out as per always. They've got the X though. Oh no! It just wore off as well. Oh boy. And this is
Dito
that
ako sa-
point
yeah,
now
yeah, diretso,
you
diretso.
can't just rely on the BKB TP anymore. Because the X will just outlast.
Short enough, just a 6-second duration. Have to
Dito
quick.
sa loob, sa baba.
And a big mistake by YG, they jumped their 2 supports in for that one.
Oh.
So Rain, way too far forward
Ito
along
yung
the
barrel
skill
mo.
way. You need that Oracle further back. I'm not sure what motivated them to jump so far forward. Like, yes, you get that AA kill, but you didn't even manage to get False Promise off there. Even the young PH,
Saan ka ba?
what's happening?
Well, what's happening, John, is we're about to see a high ground maneuver here from Kukuis.
Oh, baril mo.
And
Oh.
without a buyback on...
I see. Go on.
And without a buyback on our gyrocopter, chances are they're not going to be able to defend this middle lane.
Natin to, most wanted.
Young PH not up either, so they can't exactly split push at the moment.
I just can't comprehend why they executed that fight the way they did. Like, how did Zari end up in the arena? Why was he running into the high ground? Why was he hanging back? Wasn't he trying to save for the false promise? They commit so much to kill off Gabby that they lose sight of the wider team fight. And it's going to cost them. Respawn time at the very least for Kish isn't too far off. And you have buyback ready in UPH and UPV, but just chances are just surrendering this racks and Kukuis are back to full control of the game again.
Hindi na lang ito.
Shining moments out from YG. Kind of fumble it in that high ground siege. Just hand it right back to the Kukuis.
They sure do. And they could fumble again here if they're not too careful. JG gonna roll through. Doesn't really find anything. They're trying to hunt a little bit. They see Nico, but they don't really want to jump the Mars of all people. You'll find a tier 2 tower, and I think if you're Kukuis, you might just keep going. You know, you've still got 20 seconds on this Aegis. It's not much time, but you're starting to feel like you just don't even need the Aegis anymore. But not see.
It does feel that way. They're not able to focus down the Razor. They're having to look for these supports first. And it's taking a while. Again, they have to watch their positioning here on the side of Yangon. Especially Zalrain. You cannot jump in like that. You have to hang back. You have to get that false promise off. You have to make Kish and or Young PH feel comfy in this game. B1 racks down is the end of the world here for YG.
Punta mo na ako sa walang tao.
Range creep. Slightly range creeps to help clear out these creep waves naturally. You are somewhat even in that sense, but okay. Very cool, Nico. We haven't seen a Tormentor death in a while. Thank you. What is this game?
Qualified for the Esports World Cup, Jonathan, is what we're seeing right now. These two teams trying to qualify to be the best team in the world.
Trying. I suppose it's a key word here, for sure. And of course, Kuku's trying to stay alive. One game away, so they're hanging on.
Yeah.
Smoke out from YG. I mean, they could still cleanly win this if they take the next team fight when Age is gone. You know, chances are you can just siege all the way in. This is a Jarcom they're playing up against here from YG.
Most
High ground
most wanted pa
is
ba ako?
terrifying. They just have to not blink both supports into the initiate. Please, Zarya and Skilly, calm down a bit.
No, they want to go. Top lane, here we go again. Nobody's showing at that top lane. Might be due to the fact that the creep wave pushed out. There's no creep wave boys.
Tindahan, may tao. Wala.
Could be, Mike. For a chance. Smoke doesn't amount to much. Kukuis now can gun for their own smoke. Gabby
Yung
has
kotse
it.
to, yung kotse.
Coming in the courier, or handed over to Joel. can start to make that same play. They should know top is the target. And for the side of YG, it looks like they've just backed off. So, game of musical chairs, they back off right as the commitment comes in. Stall time again for the side of YG. And for the side of the Kukuis, all they really need is a kill onto the puck. Just catch young PH out or catch Kish out, you're happy. Even the supports aren't too bad.
Yan o, barili mo. Oy, putang ina mo.
Fire. Still has BKB.
Well, of course he does, John.
Uy, putang ina mo.
We're in for one of those games again, huh?
Ano yun?
So anyway,
Sure. Sorry.
you know, anyway, what?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other ways to
Pwede
make
eh.
these facets interesting. Like Black Grimoire, how do you make that interesting? Reusing it, you're right, it's a little bit strong. As I get
On
this
the lane.
going,
Gonna find Zorain, and guess what, John? They've also found young PH.
oh, that missed.
It missed. It won't matter though.
No
There's the
buyback.
lines drawn out because young PH doesn't have buyback, John. 56 gold shot.
Yeah.
Dami ah.
Bought on the offer
He
without
should
turning
be,
off buyback protection.
The passive goal is coming, John. He's okay. I think.
He should be fine. But the high ground
Meron dito, no?
is certainly not something to underestimate here. And the side of YG again, getting caught off guard, gets punished quite cleanly. Good jump in by Natsumi to target that Oracle first. They've put the target on Zalrain's back in this game. And it is paying off.
So, ay tindahan.
Side of Yangon, and they have a lot of trouble to deal
Lan.
with. The side of Vice now for Gabby, more ways to just pierce through that Lincolns and lock down his puck. Surprised that Kish went all in for the disperser. Self-dispel is quite nice, but it will do nothing to Radiance and Butterfly that Natsumi and Yoe have. Whether or not he even lays that damage in, who knows here for Kish, as it hasn't felt the best of times here in terms of trying to actually kill anything. Still,
Hindi, nandito
45
sa...
minutes in, 14 to 29, and the Kukus again can just kind of wait for next rotation.
Eh, lulusas na ako
just a
dito.
tad bit.
Baka ano mo na
Again,
sila.
with the mega the super creeps fully
Patagal
settled
lang
on
to.
mid, and only the range super creeps up top, should be fine and slow. Getting that slow steady shove in. Roshan
sniper.
again early as well. They've got a nice clean objective for themselves on the side of Kukuis. Or on the side of YG if they can slip this one in. But and chances, it doesn't feel like they're confident enough to try for it. So need some vision down, and their vision game here on Yangon is just not good. They have one ward in that bot jungle, that's it. Playing a little bit blind in this game.
Well, they sure are. Here we go. There's going to be a quick smoke up.
May dalawa pa sa
YG
likod.
looking to make their move through the river up towards the top lane. Roshan, of course, is going to be the main objective after this team fight. I mean, assuming they don't just rush the base if they can with this fight. Gabby going to TP away, back towards his team. Chances are they're going to smoke up because they know Roshan's available. Or why not just hold the position around the Roshan pin? Even better. Smoke's still going though. YG coming from the north. They're going to see Gabby. I've seen two of them, but they blink away. Oh, I mean, it's just...
Di ba daya yun? Di ba cheat yun?
Anyway, they blink away, Jonathan.
Parang
so
tumama
they
lahat.
don't go for the double dream
Report
for that
ko.
instance, and now Roshan's available for cooking.
Yeah, I guess they
Cheater ang puta.
can counterfight in the pit. You need a
No.
little bit more here on Kukuis, and they will hunt for more.
They
Spectate.
certainly are. Nico
Spectate
missing out on
natin.
the God's review. Won't really matter too much. He pops his BKB though now. The Fortune does land a run. He does need to run away. So BKB down at least for Nick.
Eto.
Meanwhile, the pace is being
Report
forced.
X.
Not too much to worry about yet, but you might want to send somebody down to sort that out soon.
Looks like JG's going to be fixing that mess. At the least, Roche is held back. They did have buyback and skill.
Cheat yun pre. Layo-layo. Nagpipindot lang siya, tinamaan ako. Diba? Lahat ng ano, lahat ng bala tumama.
Oil's still ready here.
Pushes out. Young PH gonna jump in. Another stun out as well. Natsumi! Natsumi is down. No buyback on the Razor either. As they're gonna lose. Nico on top. No buybacks on either. And now Roshan will be taken. Boy, if this isn't an opening for YG, I don't know what is.
Yeah, it should be clear cut for them. Buyback is not too far off for Nico. Pretty far off for Natsumi, 200 gold away for him. So you have that window opening up for yourself now on the side of Yangon. They can clear out. They have the creep wave slowly coming in on the mid. They can force spread quite nicely with the gyrocopter. And, well, they do still get the buyback roll going. Finding some bounties on Yoev. Going clutch to find those bounties to get the buyback gold. But they're going to have to try to commit. Again, they did drop quite a fair bit here from the side of Yangon to get that. But Recoil is back off the down, and False Promise is still there here for Fish.
Jump in. I'm going to try and go after the gyrocopter. He's still going to be okay with the False Promise, but they're going to X him up and hold him down for a while. Keep in mind, he still has that secondary line,
Galingan mo,
so
nanonood yung mga viewers
we're
ko.
going to get through a couple of them here. So he's
Yung
that's
viewers.
the first one. Rolling Thunder is out. A nice stream call here from young PH.
Hindi, wala ko nanonood.
Flyback on him. Meanwhile, Skill 8 does go down. They're trying to focus down Yoe, who's almost gone, and he does drop, but he's got buyback. They won't commit yet.
Wala, may YouTube ko lang.
Looks like they might just have to leave JG behind, and they will. JG to go down. YG.
Eh, ako nag-sensei kasi altab na naman ako. Nalalag
Kind of
na
misplay
tayo.
that just slightly here on
Medyo malag nga.
Pops to sustain the Satanic while the Ice Blast is still going on him, so he doesn't have it on the secondary life, which means he's a lot less willing to try to fight post-Aegis there, leading to that awkwardness for the side of Yangon Galacticos. For the side of Kukui's very successful defense coming in, they neutralize that Aegis advantage. They managed to hold on. They did have the buyback on Joel, but they do hang on to it here.
Yaksak ako ng foot soldier.
Big one. Because Razor didn't have to buy out. Has a lot of room to play aggressive now. Knowing that the side of Yangon have to throw everything out to try to find these kills. Just needs to not get caught up.
Labang Almasra dyan.
Stunts here from the side of Yangon, which is causing problems
No,
here for
Almasra,
Natsumi.
DMC.
Has been one reason he's died in a few deaths we've seen. Outside of those deaths, it's been a pretty pristine game here for Razor. Still a close game. Scoreboard says 19 to 32, but only a 9 for the side of Kukuis at this point in the game. It's not much. Like, it is something that is worked around for the most part. And Nico is acting severely behind compared to everyone else. The only reason you probably have that is how long their supports are. Is already.
Hala.
He's in trouble. He'll make it up for the, no he doesn't. The extra stick. There goes all range. 51.5 minutes in down to this game. Kirsch is okay. Does not get X, thankfully, for his sake. I guess he did have the BKB anyway, in case he didn't.
Boom!
And I'm wondering if the side of Kukuis feel confident enough to just force this without Aegis, as I think the tendency we've seen in the series is a lot of waiting for Roshan. Could end up waiting a little bit more performance until we see that actual respawn timer kick in, but they do have control here on Kukuis to try to play aggressive. You are doing a great job on YG overall to just play a standard puck game. TH is constantly shoving in, bot lanes shoved out. Creep wave has to be responded to.
Ano ba yun?
Back, we are going
Marami
to last
pinto,
outage tower left here from Yangon. Fourth breach.
Layo.
And there is this constant threat from puck to just play
Oy! Sumabit!
One of the more annoying parts of having to play against puck now that we are at 52 minutes in, the stall game is pretty damn good for this hero. So you have to kind of make a choice here on the side of Kukuis, and that choice is likely to wait for Rush. We'll take it safe, we'll take it easy, we have that slight network advantage their way at 10k, and they'll just kind of utilize that to
Tatal,
keep that
baba ka na
scaling
dito
going.
para mabilis
Natsuki
ka.
does have room to try to buy out with refresh, just doesn't have enough for that, and a
Nakikita tayo ng
buyback.
mga madla eh.
So we'll have to keep farming up to at least have that next night. So, for the side of YG, we're looking at the MKB coming out for Kish. hanging on to that refresh shard for himself to have double BKB and double
Konti
satanic
pa,
slow.
konti pa. Ano pa?
Overwhelming blink coming out for young PH for more durability and some damage to come in.
Ito.
Now, would want to start to see
Malapit
the
sa,
talk
ano.
about the Axe build-up. Starting to feel like that. The Axe will turn these late game engagements for the side of Yangon, along with the level Turkey talent now, as he does skip the Dream Royal Peace and debuff from the team in favor of that
Wala
bigger
tayo.
goal.
Wala tayong kotse.
Which
Ayun, sa
is
kabila.
useful, to be fair. I can see the utility in it. It's just that your issues
Layo.
tend to lie in wider team fights at this moment, as we have seen. It's just super awkward. They're fragmenting these fights on the side of Yangon quite hard. Just that added debuff from UT Pierce would do wonders, but waiting for level 13 at this point, it's going to take a while. Maybe you wait until the 60-minute mark at the least. We'll see. That's something Roadside to consider as well on top of this rush timing.
Uy, ang dami naman!
Tormentor maybe? So that he should go ahead and get started. Tormentor for skill lane, Shard for skill lane now. Immediate rush over Kukuis, knowing that they're around that Tormentor area. Two of them have already TP'd back to the base to try and defend, and in fact the whole team is there now, so no fight to break up for Kukuis.
Asan? Asan? Dito.
Nothing to come out of it, so we are going to see perhaps a bit of a wait for the next Roshan here between these two
Sagawa ng
sides.
to.
Already 55 minutes into this game 2 now.
Yep.
Tara.
I swear. Like, again, we transported back to good old Talon Polaris
Ah, sakit ng kamay ko.
2 years ago. Bringing flashbacks.
Hindi ako
And we have more
maka-sprint.
kills. That's a blessing, a small blessing here, Mike.
Tao, may tao,
Sub
may
10
tao.
kills
Si
at this
ano,
point. That's
Close to the
slow.
borders, John.
si A-Train tol.
Close to the bordering. From the north, Kukuis, all eyes
Si
fast.
A-Train.
It's gonna land.
Old
We're not gonna
player.
get within range for the X. KB skill lane jumps in for a bit of a rampage on his own. Greenfield committed as well, but are they committing?
Lagang puta.
Rolling thunder now. One by one they move in, John. Nico's waiting for a nice arena here. I suppose they're very afraid of that big arena from Nico, and they don't
Eh, may
make the big
price,
jump
may
in.
ano, may...
Seemed like they could have gotten away with a couple kills.
Ay, hindi abot. May helicopter.
Again, they play it super cautiously. They don't want to throw everything out and end up in a losing team fight.
Anong, oh.
Get themselves a nice amp damage rune at the very least for Kish to compensate. Again, it's a squabble over when Roche respawns. You're around half a minute away from seeing how long Roche will take. And that's the big one. Smoke out early from YG and hanging, using Kish's bait, but look at Kuku. He's all the way back in the high ground. They don't want to deal with it. They have no ultimates, and they still show a lot of respect for
Kaya nga, dali.
how safe they're playing right now in Kuku's bad capacity.
Gonna show himself. No big jump to Nico though.
Ang ino, patayin mo na!
Smoke out Kukuis. Wrap around through the top lane, trying to sneak up from above. Could run right. Oh, Kish, he's kind of alone here. Kish.
Eh, pinatay.
See, now they do.
Pinatay ka na pala,
Jump
dapat pala
in
di ka na
off the
pinuntahan.
gyrocopter. Arena down as well, catching Zul Rain on the Oracle, and now Kish is just dead. No buyback. What are you?
Patay ako. Tao eh, tao.
He's 100 gold off. He's 100 gold. It's okay. He's 100 gold off. Excuse my reaction, John. Top lane.
Yeah.
They're gonna find the line. BKB TP away. Can he make it? No, he cannot. Natsumi's got him.
What's going on? Huh? Out of position again on side of
Kukui's turn.
YG.
Just
Yeah, it's Kuku's turn, and they could get the Roshan early. So
Tindahan na tayo, pera na tayo. Wala na naman tayo
buybacks
pera.
are
Di tayo talo.
available on the side of Yangon.
Kunin mo nga yun ah. Ay, tuloy mo to, tuloy mo to. Dali. Doon ka buwaba. Hello? Dali, baba.
Patay kami sa sniper.
Oh, hello, dapa. Tasyape kasi. Storbo eh. Hingal ako.
There you go, Yoa's down now, but they've got buybacks. Everything's fine.
Ano ba Dota to?
Say
Napakatagal
that
matapos.
change capabilities in Chrome. That's after Gavin says 1-1. There's a 1-1 now. We're going to be waiting again until tier 5s, until next Roche, which YG has clear access to. I'll take it for free. They'll say, yes, please, give us Roshan. No problems. Yeah, and again, form into tier 5s. You might as well look for those divine regalias. Hopefully they don't become disgrace regalias this game.
Time
Wait
to
and
go
see.
searching the dumps, boys. Almost.
It's not that fast of a rush. The damage coming up is actually not that high. Yeah. Surprising. So okay, he doesn't have his full Hades. He has the Chrysalis and the rest of the Chrysalis in the backpack. So to be fair, he doesn't have a steroid to play with, leading to some damage issues. Interesting.
I guess he can't afford it. Buy that? So that's
Yeah.
great. That's fair. But you are right. I mean, like, usually you don't buy Swiftling before Daedalus. You know, like, it's pretty interesting. Here we go. Immediate spear from Nico. My goodness. I think he might have been trying to clear out the creep wave. No buyback's being committed yet. Young PH now going to jump in, chipping away. Up toward the top lane, second lane of barracks now. Away. Natsumi to jump in,
Yeah, that-
BKB pops that link out. He's trying for this gyrocopter. He's doing a lot of damage here to Kish. Where's the help? They're waiting. The Aegis is gone, but the whole team is still there. There's your Rolling Thunder. The arena, it doesn't catch. The blink is there. Still Natsumi moving. He gets skill lane. They'll find the line at least. X back onto the Pango won't really work out. Chase continues. Young PH trying to make magic happen. Here comes the gyro now with a black cannon. The terrorist does nothing. Natsumi, a sitting duck. Surely set the floor. He pops a satanic. He's still in trouble with the Hex, making it impossible for him to heal up. It lands, but it's not enough damage. Young PH surely get the kill. And he's got it. He's got it. The buybacks are here. It's all rain down now. He's got buybacks. Natsumi back in. Onto the gyrocopter they'll go. Oh, that's a TP cancel. Kish. He's got buyback at least. If he does go down here, he's got another satanic to pop. He'll commit it. The Hex is out. It won't matter. It might be time to force some buybacks now out of YG. But the skill rate
Tayo,
buyback
dito.
is one you will not have, John, because he doesn't have it.
Line buyback missing. Maybe not the most impactful thing in the world, honestly. At this point, it's more that at least the Oracle has buyback. That's the bigger one to lose. And you still have to deal with this fuck. PH is still being used as much as you can.
Oh, Gabby? Yeah, he's found young PH. He's found young PH.
That was sick. Right, vision. Get the big one, so now you have to buy back the book. The stall game isn't there. The bot lane is still being shoved in though, so that's one way you have to correct. This is super creeps up against super creeps on the entire side of mid. Again, there is some play potential there, but there is enough damage to just wipe that through quite fast. Respawn on your Oracle is quite quick. Your boys will have to come in. You will have to buy back soon. There's not going to be too much time left once the CJ is fully committed on it.
Ito, dahil ba rin sa kabila?
Going down very quickly here. Timmy got plenty of damage. No buybacks being committed yet either, which they have time for Megas if you're not going to buy back. They've got the time. With this out. 8 more seconds for our gyro. The tier 3 at least is going to be gone. There's your buyback from Young PH and that'll be enough.
Ikaw na lang mag-stream to. Nag-alaga
Young
ko.
PH is proving to be just too important in these game fights to not have. He's really the damage dealer for the team at the moment. Like, this gyro, it's really not doing as much as you would assume comparatively to say Young PH is jumping around the team fight, just applying the
Kailangan pala.
It's all down to him. And maybe he gets
Patay
lucky,
ba?
maybe he gets the cooldown reduction on his enchantment here for the tier 5. Do a lot of work.
Talaga niloloko, kala ko nga ikaw eh, kaya nilaratat ko lang ng baril, kalaban pala talaga.
Very close to hitting level 30 as well with a Green Quill Piercing debuff from the team. So he can start to eat through his BKBs. Still doesn't have something like his axe to improve his damage yet. Hasn't had a lot of gold to play with, has died a little bit more than you want to as Puck. Trying to go for the Ian Disc to just install for time here. He does get caught out. A little smoke coming in from the Kubois for an angle out. Go ahead with his own spider legs up. Quite mobile. But
the gyro BKB popped already, but the static link's going. John, he's in big trouble here. Here she's going to be forced to try and fight back, but the Hex is out. The false promise is there, but they're just doing so much damage to him. I don't know if he can survive through it. And he won't. He will not. Another wipe it looks like here as 2 are down. They'll even find the third with the TP away. He was outside of the arena. Just barely. They'll take a Tormentor while they're here. And it's time to maybe start pushing for the Megas. Maybe force some buybacks.
We have the space for that now on the side of Kubois for sure to get that done.
He didn't choose a team like gyro, I mean, in fairness, he could have picked Divine Regalia and just died immediately.
Yeah, could have done
So
that.
maybe that's the idea. He just does. That's what he wants. I guess that's
to be nice. I feel like Hampton on dying is kind of good. Sure, it requires him to die, but this Gyrocopter, to be fair, if he's going to die with static link on him, it's just kind of relief for himself, I suppose. Maybe not the call. Divine Regalia is kind of all in, but have anything else that's good. Spider Links doesn't do any good here either. Did get the Fallen Sky from the PH. It's highly mobile.
He got the help.
Kaya nga, hinahabol mo.
Oh my god!
Oh, they found the puck, John. Young PH, the Aeon is going to buy him enough time to retreat as they do get the buyback now. The Gyrocopter from the Natsumi, he's just still sucking away here in this team fight. This puck trying to make magic happen again as the Gyro now. Kish, he's going to jump in. Jump right back out, in fact. It's now Earth's fight. Flying out from skill late. Have they got Natsumi? They do. Natsumi's down for 2 minutes. It might be time to run for it.
I can't believe they actually managed to kill Natsumi. It looks so awkward, but they did manage to reposition themselves just right. And now, find more.
Narrowly avoiding missing out on Gabby. He was still actually there, but they don't seem to know at all that the Mars is around. Got some lanes to address anyway. Craziest thing is they had 2 minutes with the Razor down, but it doesn't really seem like they're going to be able to make much out of it. You can't really hope for a high ground. Thank you, Zorain, for picking up the Book of the Dead. You know, at least he's got the right idea. It's like, man, my teammates can't do it all, but it's alright.
Yeah, it can be useful, at least for that siege. He gets Boundless as well, the attack range, and the cast range. And the cast range is massive, of course, for this Oracle to actually get the siege.
Patay.
He didn't manage to get the cooldown reduction for Young PH, unfortunately. He also has the attack and cast range on top of his enchanted Boundless on hand, so there is that. I think the one thing now is, I mean, Roshan is supposed to be respawning. You can just sit through the respawn of the Razor and go for Roche. Try to go through the endgame at that point. Because you could force this on YG.
Ito, pasok pa pala sa ano tong ano eh.
Aegis just kind
O,
of
dyan na tayo sa taas. Tayo sa taas.
everything else have a free pick inside. You could look to end the game that way for the 2-0 here.
Para makapwesto na tayo.
Of course, Kukuis will not want to try to end it out
Yeah.
that way. Try to make it as painful as possible. See Natsumi be pretty on point now with the static load usage. But his positioning, he has a refresh as well on hand. Double link. On time. Might not be too far. We'll have to wait and see. As at max is around 2 minutes here, of course. So it'll be the next big one everyone plays for. And I can't believe
Kuya pera,
we've
baka
gone
matid sa ko.
into sub 1 hour game, but very close to
Okay
1 hour
na.
game from game 1, and now
Thanks.
17-minute game so far here, almost.
Stop.
It's quite the struggle for both teams. Very evenly matched here, Mike, for a series.
There's your Divine Rapier now. Looks like Fish has officially had enough of this game. We are almost 70 minutes in, so I don't quite blame him for going down this route. In fact, I would have liked to see it a little bit earlier, if I'm honest. Here we go. They're running in. It'll be a very awkward fight to start. Rolling Thunder, though, catching 3 targets. Well, it's a nice start here for YG. They're moving in. Koku is forced to pop their beacon so early on. They've got to escape. The young PH looking like he's going to chase them down. Meanwhile, Nico's holding down this Oracle. But Nico might have been himself, but never mind. Natsumi, he'll jump in, trying to go for Kish, but he's down. He's got buyback. He'll commit it immediately. Oh! The Undead. The helm of the Undead kicking in now. They will lose the Divine Rapier to Nico, I believe it was. In fact, he was denied by the Oracle. Skill lane meanwhile
Tara,
going down.
bumapasok. Tara,
They
may
do
pa tayo.
protect the Divine. Young PH to the death. He gets one. Nico's down. Young PH is trying so hard to carry this game. It really does feel like a 1v9 right now with this puck versus the wall. He's going again.
Sige, tayo sa kaliwa.
Where the hell's young PH's team? Where are
Kaliwa, may
these people?
pining.
Jewel is down. Where is everyone?
Look at the dead, he's
2 down that buyback. Young PH finally has the support. Here they are. Natsumi in trouble. This will be a dieback if he dies. Natsumi
Oh, no.
is gone.
What?
Oh, YG might have done it here. I mean, they have done it.
Oh
4
my
down
God.
without buyback. YG have done it.
I can't believe it. They just have
Unless
to kill
they
off
don't go
Nico
for
now.
the ancient. Boys, listen to me.
Gotta go.
Go to the ancient. Don't
Please.
you dare
Okay.
do anything stupid. Just go to the ancient.
Underestimate your team. They'll do something stupid. Never do. But they are going for it. They've got the right idea. Lines are drawn. I was just having a look. Well, Young PH was playing Poke. Zarrain was just microing his Book of the Dead to me. It was doing damage too. Like it helped kill off Yoen. That's the stupid part. It actually helped kill off Yoen. Oh my God, this game. Onto the tier 4s. They might as well have handed the Divine to Young PH, but it is a. Actually, it has the Divine. They dropped it back in the base first to pick it back up, as it is picked up by the satellite team. Refresh orb on the ground from Young PH. As we'll go for the tier 4s and the end game. Nico against the world. Maybe from Zarrain just to hit the Fair enough.
Hit the ancient. Don't worry about the fountain. GG's call. There we go. And unfortunately for Kuku,
Meron na ako niyan.
they are going to be knocked out here of the qualifiers for the Esports World Cup. And for YG, they will proceed with a 2-0 victory after a. That was like a 2.5 hour series, John, for 2 games.
That it was. That was a very
Yeah.
prolonged series out here from the side of Wayanga and Fukuis. But they do play it
Ay,
smart.
gago.
They show a lot of respect for that potential for Fukuis to turn. It's going to be interesting to see how Yangon does again.
Nak, wag mo mahulog ka dyan. Eh, huwag mga sak. Ano ka sa superstar? Hello. Saan? Nasa baba, sa baba. Kaya nga. Lalapit na lang kayo. Lalapit na lang basta-basta na gano'n. Uy, yaman. Tara na. Harap ang pwesto. Kuha pa kaya tayo sa neto. Para alam natin kung ano yung ano. Diba? Diba ganun yun? Go, itong na driver. Urban driving, tol. Oh, may kalaban. Taas. Oy, saan yun? Pausok ko nga, pausok, pausok. Yeah. Ayun eh. Uy. Parang pinapatagusan tayo na ewan eh, no? Helicopter, oh, sa taas ba yan? Basta tayo maganda dito. Yan, yan tayo. Kaya nga. Laban ah. Ah, hindi. Wala na akong plate. May plate ka, no? Mga tindahan. Hanap mga tal. Ayan, baba. Kaya, akit. Ano? Kaya nga. Kala ko may kalaban. Yay! Kabila sila, oh. Wala akong sniper. Kung kailan wala akong sniper eh. No? Layo sobra eh. Uy, puta. Nasa ka naman? Ano akala niya tol? Talo. Oh, meron na. Naka-ghost siya eh, no? Hindi ko nakikita eh. No? Saka naka-ano yan, naka-ghost. Ni-sniper ako tol. What? Grabe. Kaya nga, nasa kabila eh. Sayang lang bala natin dyan. Sabi sa'yo eh. Matakot dyan. Down. Down siya. Kala mo. Teka. Hindi tayo. Tayo sa bubong by bubong. May akyatan ba total? O hagdan lang? Hagdan natin. Saka na. Lagay ako sa kabila. Dito. Etong direksyon na to. Dito. Ayon sa akin di. Ayon sa aking iPad. Tumatakbo dyan. Wala pa. Dali lang. Kita tayo. No? Kaway mga baril. Tara, na tayo. Tara. Sa bahay na kulot. Ito. Kunin ko kaya yung ano. Katama ko ba ako niya kahit nasa loob ako? Okay, may mga bomba akong dala. Meron. Nandito ako sa loob tol ah. Patay ka? Dito sa loob tol ah. Ano ba yan? Nasaan? Tara. Kaya dapat nintay mo ako tol. Hindi sila nakatingin sa atin eh no. Tatlo. Ayan nga. Kaya off ko na yung live ko.